In this video, we are solving exponential equations, which means that your variable is in the exponent. We have to figure out how to solve for this exponent variable. First thing we want to do is make sure that you have a common base. So in this case, we have a 2, a 4, and an 8 for our bases. They can all be made to a base 2. 4 can be written as 2 squared. 8 can be written as 2 cubed. And 2 is already that base. Once we have changed the bases, don't forget that we still have the original exponents that were on these bases. Second step is to make sure that we combine the bases on each side. And remember that to do that, you're going to be following your exponent rules. So recall that these are your exponent rules. In this case, we have our base, we've got a power, and then we've got another power outside of that, which means we need to multiply our powers together. We have a power, we have another power outside of that. So we've got to multiply these powers together, and we get 4x. On the next one, we have a power and a power, so we multiply those powers together, and we get 9x. The other side, we still have our 6x minus 14 as our powers. Now in this case, we have the bases that are the same with powers. So going back to our rules, that's rule number 1. We have the bases that are same and they each have their own power, which means we need to add these powers together. So we take and we add these powers together. We combine it into one base, add the powers together, you get 13x. And that is equal to 2 raised to the 6x minus 14. Now the next step, notice that the bases are the same. So we have a single base on the left, we have a single base on the right. So once we have that, we know that the exponents must be equal to each other. So we're going to take the exponents and we're going to make them equal. Or in other words, 13x is going to be equal to 6x minus 14. Which in the last case, in the last step, we are going to solve. So in this scenario, we would subtract the 6x from both sides. We get 7x equals negative 14. Dividing, we get x equals negative 2. So to recap, we first find the common base. We changed 4 to 2 squared and 8 to 2 cubed. The next thing we did was combine the bases by using our exponent rules. Exponent rules here, we had a power and a power, so we multiplied them together to get these two exponents. And then we had the same base, which means we add the exponents together. Then in step 3, we set the exponents equal to each other. So 13x was equal to 6x minus 14 because they have the same base. Now that we have the exponents equal to each other, our last step was to solve.